Welcome back to Life Mastery Unleashed. This is the podcast for those who refuse to be average. If you're here, it's because you're built to win. Today, we're talking about real leadership. Not the fluffy, feel-good kind, but the kind that builds unstoppable teams, eliminates weakness, and creates a culture where execution is non-negotiable. If you lead a team, run a business, or just want to step up in your own life, this episode is for you. Before we dive in, grab my book, Just Win the Day, on Amazon. It's a no BS guide to discipline, execution, and dominating your day. Now, let's get into it. The foundation of leadership. It's not about you. Most people think leadership is about them, their title, their authority. They're wrong. Great leaders don't create followers. They create other leaders. Your job isn't to be the smartest, the fastest, or the best at everything. Your job is to set the standard, enforce the culture, and make sure your team executes at the highest level. Weak leaders take credit and shift blame. Strong leaders take responsibility and give credit. That's the difference. And here's the truth. Your team will never outperform your leadership. If they're not disciplined, it's because you're not disciplined. If they lack accountability, it's because you let things slide. Your team is a direct reflection of your leadership. If they're not executing, you need to look in the mirror. Leadership is a responsibility, not a title. It's a commitment, not a status symbol. And the biggest mistake weak leaders make, they think leadership is about power. But real leadership is about responsibility. If you want to build a high-performance team, you need to understand that your leadership sets the tone for everything. The 5 non-negotiables of leading a high-performance team. Number 1, set the standard, then enforce it. A weak leader suggests standards. A strong leader demands them. You can't just say, "We expect excellence." You have to define it, show it, demand it. What are your non-negotiables? What does winning look like on your team? What happens when someone falls short? If you don't enforce the standard, you don't have one. A real leader doesn't just set the standard. They live it, breathe it, and enforce it every single day. Number 2, clarity wins. Everyone needs a role and a mission. Nothing kills momentum like uncertainty. If your team doesn't know who does what winning looks like, how success is measured, then you're failing them. A confused team is a losing team. Get clear, get specific, get results. And here's the hard truth. Most leaders assume their team understands what's expected, but assumption is the enemy of execution. You need to spell it out, over-communicate, and make sure there is zero confusion. Because when there's clarity, there's speed, efficiency, and results. Number 3, communication creates buy-in. If your team doesn't believe in the mission, they won't fight for it. Are you communicating the vision daily? Do they know why they're doing the work? Are you checking in individually, not just in meetings? The best leaders listen more than they talk. You don't lead by barking orders. You lead by getting your team to believe in the mission. And let's be clear, people don't just work for money. They work for purpose. They work for belief. They work for leadership that inspires them. If you're just telling people what to do and not inspiring them on why they're doing it, you're failing as a leader. Number 4, no weak links. Build a culture of accountability. One weak link can destroy a team. If someone consistently underperforms, you have 2 choices. 1, coach them up, give them every tool to succeed. 2, cut them loose. Because if they won't execute, they don't belong. And here's what weak leaders do. They avoid hard conversations. They make excuses for poor performance. They tolerate mediocrity. A leader who tolerates mediocrity creates a mediocre team. If someone isn't performing, call it out, coach them up, or move on. Because if you don't hold people accountable, you lose credibility as a leader. Number 5, lead by example. Always be in the trenches. If you're not willing to do the work, why should your team? Want discipline? Be disciplined. Want work ethic? Outwork them. Want commitment? Show up first, leave last. A leader who sits in an ivory tower will never build a team that fights for them. You want to build a team that will go to war for you, earn their respect. And respect isn't given. It's earned through action, through presence, through relentless commitment to the mission. You're the hard truth about leadership. Not everyone is built to lead. Leadership means taking blame when things go wrong, carrying weight no one else can see, making hard decisions no one else wants to make. Most people like the idea of leadership, but they don't want the responsibility. So here's the question. Are you willing to step up? Are you willing to hold yourself accountable first? Are you willing to demand the best from yourself before you demand it from others? Because that's what real leadership is about. Closing thoughts. A high-performance team doesn't happen by accident. It is built, shaped, and led with intention. Set the standard and enforce it. Create total clarity in roles and expectations. Communicate so your team buys into the mission. Hold people accountable and eliminate weak links. Lead from the front. Always be in the trenches. That is how you build a team that dominates. If this episode hit home, let me know. Shoot me a message. Tag me on social and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're serious about taking your leadership to the next level, grab my book, Just Win the Day, on Amazon. And remember, outgrind, outwork, out-hustle everyone.